was very scary to start off because the only thing I had were my savings, and that was how I started the business. And I wasn't sure that I would be able to draw my weekly salary out of it, but I worked with good drivers, and I had customers that thought my communication and my reputation was great, so they continued to come back to me for more business, and that's how I got to grow. And so the hard part is the beginning, to have the finances and build up your customer base, and the hard part at the end is to try and keep these friendships going when you're not having them work with you anymore. No partners, no investors. I did it on my own. I took whatever I had saved, and that was the money that I put in there, and promised the drivers that I would pay them every week. I consider it very successful, and I never went under. And actually, more so, I took money out of that business because it was profitable. And I started another business called Harborside Transportation, of which I bought 2 trucks of my own and 2 trailers of my own to start a business that way. And that ran for 3 years. I consider myself honest and conscientious, and one of the other things is to give praise to the drivers when they do things that are good, and if you do not get the right material, then also to let them know about that. If you have some courage and you have support of your family and friends around you, then you feel that you can make it. It helps you to grow and realize that's what life is about, ups and downs. My father had a grocery store, and I worked in it since I was 10 years old, so I worked my way through and found out that you had to treat the customers nicely, and they would come back to you, and you would be able to earn a living. I think that the person needs to really want to do something, and they have to put their heart into it. It may be just a job, or it may be just a venture, but to me it was more than that, because I really wanted to do well, and I really truly enjoy dealing with drivers and with tractor trailers, and that's how I even go to truck shows. It is a great profession if you realize that you don't have 9 to 5 hours, and you have to really put a lot into it for what you want to get back. Definitely not. Definitely not. You have to put your heart into it. You have to realize it was a lot of hard work, and you have to be dedicated to what you want to achieve. Okay, if you wanted to start the business, you'd have to have commitment, you'd have to have the money, and you'd have to have a lot of courage to be able to start the business. Well, when I decided wanted to start the business, I had to get in touch with the Federal Department of Transportation, and they send you paperwork to fill out, and you get what's called MC authority, which gives you the right to operate. And then you also have to get what's called a surety bond, and that's a type of insurance. You pay this insurance, and it means that if you don't pay the drivers what they've earned, then they can go against the surety bond, and if they pull the surety bond, then you couldn't operate the business any longer. have an office in my home, and I've done that since the year 2000. Other people can have an office if they choose to do that, but for me it was just as well to work out of my home, as long as I proceeded to put in the hours and be properly dressed and ready to meet people if someone came to the door. I think it's what I said before, you have to really love it, and I really do to this day. I look at the trucks on the road and I look forward to going to the truck shows every year. So it's still really important to me, you know. Yes, the passion, even though I'm retired, I still have a passion for the work in the trucks. One of the things would be that you have to have everything in order, because there were what they call over-length loads or over-width loads, and you had to have permits. The drivers were to get them, and if they didn't have them and they were on the road, they got stopped by DOT. I remember going to by the truck stop and bringing the fellow the permit so he could get moving again, or know that the drivers have some of the parts with them for their trucks if they break down, because I've gone out at 4 or 5 in the morning and brought them some parts for their trucks so they again can make the deliveries.